Hi guys, Lindsay here. So, as you guys can see, we got the goats here, but it was not easy. So the first trip that we made, Rosie actually escaped when we hooked her up to the leash to get her out of the car to walk her down from the road to try to bring her down into the pasture and down into the perimeter line of the fence, so that way she couldn't escape very far. Yeah, that's when the collar snapped and broke, and she took off running down the road. So it was not very easy. She ended up going clear down the road, going down that way, went down to the neighbor's driveway, went up the neighbor's driveway, ended up being up on that hillside up there, ended up coming back down and then going back over and just back and forth and back and forth. I would guess it was probably like 20 minutes of her being just checking out the neighborhood and stuff. How we ended up getting her back was she has young ones with her. I think they're probably about 9 months old now or something of the sort like that. It's hard to keep track of time for me. It's just too many things have happened and everything's just jumbled at this point. But yeah, so how we ended up catching her was we left her one baby, her favorite one, Iris, her daughter. We left her in the cage so that way she would scream like a banshee for her mom, which worked. It worked very well, actually. After she figured out where the sound was coming from, because we're in a valley here, so the sound was echoing off of that hillside, which is part of why she went up there. And stuff was because she thought her baby was up there. But then after a little while of exploring, she realized that her baby was exactly where she left her and stuff. So yeah, we ended up using Iris to catch Rosie. Then we got them in the barn, and then we unloaded the 3 pregnant ones out of my SUV. That was really hard because they're a little bit feral. Daisy's nickname is Crazy Daisy, and her 2 daughters, they're also pregnant, so they're like 2 years old. This is their first time. I wonder if they're up there. Lucky's hanging out with me. But so I ended up having to carry them all the way from the road all the way to this back barn, because I was like, yep, I know that if they get loose, there's no getting them back. Nothing on this earth is going to entice them enough to come back to me when they've just been traumatized so severely by moving and stuff. I'm like, there's no way. But so yeah, that was a doozy. I would guess that when I carried Daisy, because I'm pretty sure she's got like 4 babies up in there, I don't think I have ever carried a goat that heavy for that far before, ever. I was like, after I set her down, I was like standing there just like huffing and puffing for a good solid like 5 minutes. I'm like, I'm done. I'm so tapped out. But then we had to get lucky. We had to, get lucky. His brother Winston, the black and white one, and his sister Fawny. All 3 of those, actually, they all fit in the SUV pretty well. Oh, big guy. You liked it. He likes going on car rides. So far, he has escaped this pasture fence, I would say like 6 times or so. The first time was as soon as we put him in here. When we got back to the SUV to get his sister out, he just went boop, jumped right over the fence, ran up to the SUV so that way he could escort us and Fawny to the barn. So he doesn't do anything damaging or harmful and stuff when he gets out. It's just we're always afraid that he's going to get hit by a vehicle or something's going to happen to him because he's, completely and utterly fearless. So, and then he just escaped right before I started filming because they needed more water. So he came to the house to ask for more water. So yeah, it's hard when you got a goat that's so attached to you and so intelligent that they're like, oh, I'm the guardian of the entire farm. Oh, the ducks need water. I'll just go tell mom. I'll go get her. I'll go knock on the door. I'll just let her know. And stuff is basically how he does it. But yeah, it's kind of sketchy and stuff. We were nervous whenever we've left that he was going to escape and stuff. But he did good. I think he knows, if we're going to be home or not and stuff, if it's safe or not. But yeah, so today I ended up, gotta backtrack. Hold on. So much has happened over the last few days, like back and forth trips and stuff, that like my whole sense of time is like so distorted, because every time that you leave and go to the other house and then come back here, it almost feels like a reset to the day, like almost like you just like hopped onto a different timeline or into a different world or just something like that, something of the sort. So it really distorts your memories and like just how everything stacks up, everything works. It's very confusing. But so the other things too that we got here is I moved the ducks. We caught them, I think it was Friday night. Yeah, it was Friday night that we caught them. And then yesterday we caught all of the geese and we brought the geese all here. So the only animals that are still at the old house currently is our male goat, our buck, and then his companion Ferdy, and then we have the adult breeder rabbits. So yeah, there's not that much left for us to get there, not that many beings left for us to get. Thankfully, the old house is relatively close to where Tracy works at, so she's able to go there like after work to take care of the animals and to check on them and stuff like that. So all of the birds are here. I was able to catch all of the chickens except for I think like 4 roosters, so may the odds be ever in their favor. I'll try to catch them if I can whenever I'm there and stuff, but they are like super feral roosters that they pretty much they used to live with the goats on the goat side of the barn, never even going in with the other chickens, never getting chicken feed. They just super feral. So the odds of me catching them are basically slim to none. So next door neighbors, they both have chickens, so I'm guessing that they'll eventually meander over to the neighbors on one side or the other and stuff. But you know, it is what it is. I mean, we knew that losses would happen and stuff like that, but you know, we kind of figured that we would end up not being able to move all of the chickens here just because we had so many. So far, camper chicken coop is doing fantastic. Probably tomorrow I'll end up letting them out into their little pasture space. So with moving chickens, it's really important when you're moving them to leave them locked up in the coop for several days, so in that way they associate that space as their home. So then when they go out and they're foraging and they're free ranging and they're, you know, running around out and about and doing their thing, then they know where to go back to at nighttime. So that's why I haven't let them out yet. If you guys were wondering why I was in previous videos, I had said that they were going to have to be in there for a couple of days. That's why. So got everybody in there, all of our favorite roosters, all of our breeding stock, everybody that we liked, everybody that had names, basically the main thing. All the named roosters are here. So all the chickens are here. Egg production has been going pretty well. You know, that sort of thing. So today, like, you have a snowflake. I don't know if you guys will be able to see it right there on the black spot, and it's not melting. It's really pretty. Oh, big guy. I know you're very handsome. You're a very good boy. So, the other thing too, today I ended up working on. I got a little door made for the ducks and the geese, so that way they could actually go out into their pasture space. So as of right now, they've not really ventured out. So I think part of it is because it's so cold. I would guess right now the real feel is probably about 15 degrees or so, and on Friday it was like 60. So I mean, it feels brutally cold out. So far the goats are really enjoying their new pasture space. I have had to use a significant amount of hay for them just because there's also no bedding in the barn because, you know, they weren't here yet. So we've been blowing through hay pretty quickly the last couple of days just so that way they stay comfortable and happy, and so somebody stays in. So yeah, I think that as far as an animal update, that's about it. The dogs and the cats have fully acclimated themselves into the house now. For the first few days, the cats, they did not leave the master bedroom. They were very afraid to venture out to explore for, you know, I don't know if they were afraid of the dogs or if they were afraid of what. I really don't know. But the car ride for them, like Nala, she cried the entire car ride here. So I think it was pretty traumatizing for the cats to go on a ride and stuff. You know, I think that, honestly, I think because they were rescued, I think that they thought that because we put them in the vehicle that we were like getting rid of them or something. But yeah, once they realized that we're staying here with them, I think that helped a lot. So last night they were all roaming around and sprawling out and sort of a thing, and looking around to see what all goodies they could find. So besides that, I think I covered everything. If I didn't, sorry. The other thing too that was exciting, which I can't remember if I said this or not, so if I already said it, sorry. When we were loading up the animals on Friday, when we were grabbing all the goats, the real estate agent actually texted me to see if we could handle doing a showing on Sunday, which is today. So Saturday it kind of derailed our plans because we were going to try to move Burr and Ferdy also in their hut and do all those things. Yes, do you want to kiss? No? Okay, well, you gotta wait till I'm done, okay? Just hang out. But so we were going to end up moving them and all that stuff, but with having a showing on Sunday today, we ended up having to switch gears to do a lot of cleaning. And I think I told you guys this, so I'm not going to keep going any further. As of right now, I still don't know how the showings went. It's still too close to tell and stuff, but cross your fingers, say a little prayer that the house sells, that an offer is made, because it would be very helpful at this point to not have 2 houses, especially seeing as how, like, we're living here. Like, it would just be nice. Having only one electric boat would be very nice. So, anyways, that's it for today. I want to go actually warm up. I think that's what I'm going to do, is just go get warmed up before it's time for me to do chores again. So hopefully Luck Dragon here will stay in, so that way I can get some R&R before it's time to come back out again. So thanks for watching. Have a good one, guys.